quick. For some reason, it's not popping up. Just check it. Okay, there you go.
All right, well, thank you all very much for taking the time. I'm David Fatui, the Deputy Administrator of the EPA here in Salt Lake City. We're spending 2 days here in Utah. Very excited to be out here. This morning, I had the opportunity with Deputy Secretary Danley here from DOE, the Department of Energy, to address the American Coal Council meeting in Park City, where we talked about administration priorities to support the development of coal domestically and coal-fired baseload power. We just finished up a roundtable meeting with stakeholders across different sectors, including the mining sector, the petroleum sector, and other stakeholders, as well as local officials, state elected officials here in Utah, to hear directly from them about their priorities and their concerns. And it was a really important and helpful meeting. This afternoon, we'll both be traveling to the Kennecott mine south of Salt Lake here to get a firsthand look of the processes that are going on there. It's also an area where they've made really good progress with regard to environmental remediation, and so I'm excited to get the chance to look at that directly. Tomorrow, I'll also have the opportunity to visit another Superfund site, a contaminated site that's on its way to being cleaned up in the Park City area. One of our initiatives at EPA is what we're calling Superfund Solutions. This is an area of EPA where we are responsible for cleaning up contaminated sites across the country and getting them back into productive reuse, working with states, working with partners to accomplish those goals. We've set goals for ourselves to expedite the process of cleaning up some of those contaminated sites. There's over 2,000 across the country. So I'll be excited to take a look directly at one of those sites in the Park City area tomorrow to get a sense of their progress to date and the work that's still left. So I'll turn it over to Deputy Secretary Danley, but just appreciate being out here in Utah and getting the chance to hear directly from folks here in the region.
Change the microphone. I think they're just going to change it so
Sure.
they can get his.
Oh,
It's fine?
oh, okay.
Oh my God, how many mics am I going to have this?
We got all the state media
Can we
here.
get on this side.
Oh, sure.
So, yeah. Starting to get pretty lots of
those in a
wires.
little
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I'm Deputy Secretary of Energy James Danley, and I'm here with Deputy Administrator David Fatui in Salt Lake City. We've had a great morning of meetings with mining companies, with state legislators, local officials, learning about how Utah is leaning forward on the President's energy dominance agenda and ensuring that we have as much affordable, reliable, secure energy as possible for America as the basis for reindustrialization and development of industry and prosperity across the country. Utah is blessed with immense natural resources and an extremely welcoming business and regulatory environment, and it's poised to have a great future ahead of it between extraction industries and processing and ensuring that electric generation is developed to meet demand. It's been a morning of really, really valuable meetings, talking to people, hearing about their concerns and the opportunities in the state, and I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, I just had one question about today's announcement of the $100 million grant going to Waterleaf P1 Holding Co. For the lithium facility on the GSL's northeastern shore. Can you kind of just talk a little bit about that, what facility is going to do and how it's going to contribute to the critical minerals push?
So we have at DOE a very broad number of different critical minerals efforts, right? One of the great things about Utah is that 80% of the listed critical minerals are here one way or another, deposits in the state. And the objective is to get as much of the internal capacity, both for extraction and processing, for every one of the critical minerals across the board that we can. Some of them are more challenging than others because the deposits are where they are. That's a quirk of geology. Sometimes there's a matter of commercial viability, but we're trying to use as much of the Department of Energy's minerals budget and programs to find good opportunities to advance critical mineral extraction and processing.
I have a question. Utah coal production has declined in the last 2 decades.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Utah coal production has been declined in the last 2 decades. What do you see in the future of coal in Utah?
So between the export opportunities that the federal government is trying to encourage for foreign country consumption and the fact that we are retaining the coal baseload power as broadly as possible, and in fact uprating pre-existing coal plants to have higher capacity factors, there's doubtless going to be an increased market in coal over time.
That's Utah is able to export coal?
Excuse me?
Export coal. Utah.
Utah, I mean, Utah is interconnected to the rail system, and there is coal being exported from Western export facilities all the time.
Back to the lithium project, how do you expect that to factor into the overall plan and the bigger strategy of critical minerals?
So the overall plan and strategy is deceptively simple, which is try to onshore as much of the critical minerals extraction, processing, and commercial availability as possible in the United States. Lithium is obviously one of the most important critical minerals, and we've had trouble over time getting fully domestic production of lithium, but it factors in that we need to have lithium as broadly as possible to make it available to all of the industry that needs it, and it is one of the many endeavors we have to make sure it's there. And the same could be said for virtually any other critical mineral we're working on.
Can you talk about the need there and how much may be being driven for critical minerals by the Iran war?
Oh, I mean, when it comes, different critical minerals go through different supply chains, and I don't know exactly what the constraints are there, but interruption of any supply chain can be problematic. I just don't know the details of that when it comes to Iran.
Utah has done a lot in the past. The governor's announced an initiative to try to lessen the reliance on China for some of these minerals. The University of Utah has launched an institute to study these minerals. How do you see the state playing into just this greater nationwide push to have more mineral production in the U.S. and lessen their reliance on foreign countries?
So anytime we can make it commercially viable to extract in the United States and process in the United States and then consume in the United States is valuable. Utah has a long history of mining. It has immense deposits of all manner of critical minerals and resources. And also, Utah has been really enthusiastic about partnering with the federal government for workforce development and for technological pilot programs. And so I think Utah is likely to be one of the leaders in critical mineral efforts simply because of the natural resources and the willingness of the state to partner with the federal government.
In your discussions today with public officials from Utah, any discussion of existing legislation or future potential bills that could factor in?
Do you mean state bills?
Yeah.
Primarily, we focused on the federal government since we were looking at ways to be of assistance. And on the federal level, there's certainly permitting reform, which is an active subject on Capitol Hill right now. Mostly, we're trying to find ways to better partner with Utah in order to make available federal resources to further advance the delivery of energy and critical minerals.
There's a lot of concern in the state right now about water getting to the Great Salt Lake with the drought that we're in, issues there, and concerns about potential contamination too. Would you care to address those with the announcement of the project today?
I am one of the great things about the way American industry operates is that we are very responsible and we ensure that we comply with all of the environmental requirements. I don't know the specific details of the concerns you're talking about, but every time we initiate any type of critical minerals activity or anything else, we are always very responsible in the way that we conduct it.
I'm happy to take that from the EPA perspective. We've been working closely with the State Environment Department on ensuring on all issues related to the Great Salt Lake. We've worked closely with them on air monitoring. We know there's a concern about dust from the lake bed, so we've worked closely with them and provided technical support and funding for increased air monitoring. The Department of Interior has also provided hundreds of millions of dollars in funding on things that will help increase flows into the lake and other technical developments in support of the state's efforts to address the issues you've raised with regard to the Great Salt Lake. So it's an ongoing discussion, and the federal government is standing with the state to address these issues directly.
I have a question here. Can new technologies such as the carbon capture help preserve Utah coal industry while reducing emissions?
The most important single thing is to get as much power delivered to the bulk power system as we can. And the way that we are doing that is by extending the life of pre-existing facilities and increasing the capacity of the facilities that already exist. Historically, those have been economically unviable undertakings, and the objective is to get as much power on as the primary focus.